searching, floating on the surface of all that I am. Can't find a purpose. Feels like I'm holding my breath. I'm on my own. They're just too hard to please. I think I need a release. I keep on drifting out further and further again. Lost out in the deep. Too many secrets to keep. I watch it falling apart, and I feel that I keep losing my way. And I just need to escape. I need to escape. Made my mistake. Got caught in the break. Pressurizing higher I'm stumbling, hurting, reaching for the first thing that brings me to life. Trapped by the inertia, and now I'm bursting from the inside. I'm on my own. They're just too hard to please. I think I need a release. I keep on drifting out further and further again. Lost out in the deep. Too many secrets to keep. Head over heels from the start. Can't believe it. And maybe with my mistakes, and I feel I keep losing my way. And I just need to escape. I need to escape. Made my mistake. Got caught in the break. Pressurizing higher.
Hello, my fellows. Holo Bass fans, supporters, even friends at this point. Glad to have you here, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the recording, because YouTube didn't tell you when I was going live because they've messed with my channel so badly. Regardless of where you're here or where you're coming from, I welcome you. If you haven't refreshed the stream in a few minutes, maybe you didn't notice I changed it. We're not playing Final Fantasy tonight. That was the plan, but I decided to postpone Final Fantasy until tomorrow, or any gameplay at all until tomorrow. I just got out of the shower. I spent a long time getting ready today. I needed the extra hour. I just spent a lot of time today thinking about, well, doing stuff. Like I was getting ready for the move in a month, setting up a second COVID vaccine, even though I don't want one. What else? Ordering food and eating that, showering. Took my allergy pills because I'm still living with these two horrible animals in the house that aren't even mine. But again, I'm moving in a month anyways, so that won't be much longer. And then I spent a lot of the day talking with my vocalist, who I've been with for a while now. The past couple weeks working with, doing various projects, and just generally getting to know better. And yeah, I've just been thinking a lot about Holo Bass today especially. I mean, I'm always thinking about Holo Bass. What's coming next and what I'm doing. I've thought so much about it, it's insane. Like, I've probably dedicated a week straight solely to thinking about what I'm doing, what I did do, what I might do going forward, under what name, for how long. How would it be presented? How would it look? How would it sound? All that kind of stuff. So I guess we're just thinking out loud today, because I want to keep thinking about it and talking about it. Yeah, let's go like that. Well, it's pretty big. Let me zoom in. Something like that, maybe. Let me just switch to the desktop. Let's have a little drawing space here. Drawing out your thoughts is not a bad thing. Hello, my friends. Oh, I got my Coronet mouse pad today. The Coronet anniversary gift finally shipped. So I now have a new mouse pad. I'm very happy because my last mouse pad was very well used. I think this is now it's at least my 4th Opie mouse pad. It's at least the 4th one I've had now. I absolutely adore the things. I've never had a mouse pad with wrist support before, but I didn't realize how much I value having that. So now I'm so used to the feel of the wrist support, I can't have anything else. Of course, there's just regular mouse pads with wrist support, but why would I get those when I could have an Opie mouse pad, right? So this is my 4th one now, and it's my first HoloLive one. And I'm very happy about it. The problem with Opie mouse pads is that they always kind of like leak after a while. It takes usually an excessive amount of use, but when you spend as much time using a mouse pad as I do, it happens, you know, over the course of a year or two. It just starts to get kind of dirty looking after a while. I suppose if you have like a black mouse pad, it would never be a problem, really. When you've got such a nice design, it's very sad knowing that one day Coronet will be smudged and gray, and one of her breasts will be smaller than the other. It'll just be a mess. It's just what happens. My last mouse pad was of, it's funny, I got it, I gotta remember how to spell this. Yeah, there it is. I got it as part of a collector's edition for a video game called Omega Labyrinth Life. which is a game in a series I'd never played before. But some of you might know this, but I'm a very strong advocate against censorship. I take very few political stances nowadays. I just don't care. But censorship technically does fall under the realm of a political stance, and I just hate it. I absolutely hate it. It frustrates me to no end, knowing that creators, whoever they might be, game developers or musicians or artists or whatever, creators in general are being told, no, you can't make this thing. No, you can't share this thing. That frustrates me as a creator myself. I know that, like, I'm never going to run into a scenario where my content is censored. I make music, and it's not even like vocal or story or thematically focused music. It's just like dance music. I'm never going to run into a scenario where my dubstep song is censored. So for the most part, like, it doesn't really affect my content that much, but the content I consume seems to be affected all the time by censorship, which means that censorship affects me rather directly. Half the video games I want to play, I can't play because they're being censored, because I like playing games with anime women, and I like it when they're wearing, these are the less clothes they're wearing, the better the game. That's typically how my game library works. Okay? And most of these games I'm not allowed to enjoy, says Sony, says game publishers, says game rating boards, says parents, says governments in some extreme cases. And Omega Labyrinth Life was one of the first games, anime themed games, that Sony ever censored. That was back in 2017, I think. And at the time, I was just so upset that I decided I'd show my support and buy the game on the Switch, because they were releasing on both the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch. And Nintendo doesn't censor games like that. Nintendo doesn't care. They say, look, the ESRB rating is good enough. If ESRB approves it, then we're fine with it too. We'll release it as is, right? So the ESRB gave the game an M rating, and then it released on the Nintendo Switch with no problems. It was delayed on the PS4 by quite a bit, because they had to make a second version of the game just for the PS4, because Sony wasn't allowing them to release it. There's no nudity. There's no nudity, right? That's the important thing, is these games don't have nudity. They're not actual porn games. They're just, they're itchy. They're etchy, right? They're just saucy. They're suggestive. They're sexy. You could even argue demeaning to women if you really want to go that far. But there's no sex. It's not a sex thing. It's not like Sony's like, no, we don't want adult games on our platform. That's not it. It's got the M rating. It's fine. But it's, for whatever reason, Sony's just got a problem with anime titties. And so they said, take it back, take them out, then we'll release it on the PS4. So there's two versions of Omega Labyrinth Life. There's Omega Labyrinth Life, and then there's whatever they call the PS4 version, which is rated T for teen, because they cut so much content out. And they even made fun of the game themselves in their own trailer, pointing out that the Nintendo version's obviously the superior way to play it. So I bought it on the Nintendo Switch, and then I bought it again on Steam, because I want to support these developers that are putting out the games I like. And anyways, I bought this stupid special edition, which was way too much money, but it came with a mouse pad with one of the main characters of the game. That was the long way of saying that. What was their name again? I can't remember. It's been so long since I played the game, I actually would not mind streaming that game, since I've got it on Steam. I never played the Steam version, so that'd be definitely a future stream if we really wanted to. Hinata, that's her name. Yes. I have an Opine mousepad of Hinata that I've been using for the past probably 2 years. I mean, whenever the special edition of this game dropped, ever since then I've been using that mousepad. And now it's finally been replaced with Corne. Very exciting. I'm kind of toasty tonight. It's not as cool as it has been lately. Alright. Let's see. What was I gonna do here? How about this? Okay, before we talk about Holo Bass, let's talk about... Let me adjust my chair. Let's talk about my other alias, Spiky Wikey, which has been around a long time. Let's see, I started Spiky Wikey in 2013. And that's still technically going. Now, the first song I released, I think was 2014 actually. Yeah. The first song I released was 2014, so maybe we'll change this like that. So for 7 years I've been releasing music under that alias. And for the most part I released music with Vegas, my video editing software, but eventually I started putting music together with Ableton. But I just that me graduating from Vegas to Ableton, spending a year learning the software, happened to synchronize exactly with when I started making Hololive music. So that was just pure coincidence that my Hololive music actually ended up being decent. Because if I found Hololive 2 years prior, I would have been making some pretty lame Hololive music. Kind of like how I was making some pretty lame pony music for a long time. Of course, I don't really make much of that anymore. I'm not inspired or I'm not creatively motivated by My Little Pony of all things. Would you not believe it? At 25 years old, I kind of don't care anymore. But I'll tell you, when I was 15, that was popping off. When I was just a young man, My Little Pony was cool. But it's been 10 years and not that cool anymore. Now I'm into anime girls. So obviously my tastes have matured quite a lot. Gone from just one cartoon character to the other. Let me draw a little Spike the Dragon just for reference. I don't feel like writing Spiky Wikey. There he is. There's Spike. I don't know what that mouth is. There we go. Did that. 7 years. And then at some point in Holo Bass, that was 2020. To 21. We did whatever this is. These are pretty separate audiences. There's not a whole lot of overlap. Some of the guys that liked Holo Bass went over and checked Spiky Wikey out, but honestly not that many. This music's bad. Bad music. This music, it's okay. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. So some of the Spiky Wikey music's okay too, actually. Not much of it's very good, but a lot of it's okay for Holo Bass, and some of it's okay for Spiky Wikey. A lot of it's just bad. Now, let's say 2021 going forward, right? This will be whatever the next project is, okay? Isn't it nice that I'm drawing with my mouse? I mean, it's not too bad. You can tell what I'm writing. Okay, so theoretically, right? Theoretically, whatever this is going to be good. That's the theory. That's the working theory. I've got way too much space to work with. This canvas is massive because it's from the tier list stream. So it's a very long evolution. I've been making music a very long time, haven't I? Look at that. And it's taken a long time to go from bad music all the way over to good music. It's taken a very long time. And arguably, I'm still not there yet because this doesn't exist, whatever this is. But when it exists, theoretically, it will be good. So I've spent a long time thinking about, well, now since I'm done with this, I've spent a long time thinking about what is this going to be and why is it going to be good? How is it going to be good? The music itself might not be enough to carry it. I was very fortunate in Holo Bass to have much more than just the music. I had the whole brand of Hololive behind Holo Bass, which was very powerful and had a lot of support, ravenous support even. That's not going to happen with whatever this is. So somehow I'm going to need to garner support without this extra help that Holo Bass had, right? So that's why this has taken so much of my thought away, really. It's just so hard to think about what really comes next and how is it going to happen. And I said either the last stream or a couple streams ago that it's getting to the point now where it's been so long since I left Holo Bass that I don't even remember why I did it. It's the story itself is failing me. And of course, then when I look at this problem that I have of moving from this alias to this alias when I already have so much support for this one, I run into the problem, well, why am I not still using that support? And why am I not still releasing music then if I've got all this support? And the answer is getting harder and harder to answer at this point. So I'm very quickly getting to the point where I want to just start releasing on Holo Bass again. Because I don't care anymore. I'm over, obviously, whatever happened initially. But there's also the problem of how much support do I really have? I've got supposedly 50k subs. That's how much I had when I left Holo Bass. It was 53k, so I've lost 3k. Which is actually a lot of people if you think about it that way. 3,000 people, that's not a small number. And who knows how many of these are active subs anyways, right? So that was 3k active subs because they actively unsubscribed. I might only have 10k left, right? But that's still not small. That's a lot of subscribers, right? And even if you don't want to look at it with the numbers, you can recognize that, look, there's just a lot of support in general. There's people, even if there wasn't that many people, the people that do support Holo Bass really support Holo Bass. And it's just sad to not be making content for them, right? So maybe this number doesn't even matter. Maybe we can just take that out. But I've got subs on Holo Bass. And maybe this number doesn't directly translate to support, but if we just look at subscribers, that means that there are also supporters. So it just feels bad that I've got X amount of supporters and I'm doing nothing with them. I'm not putting out any content for them. And it would be so easy, and not easy, it would be enjoyable and fun to release content for these guys. To go back to doing exactly what I was doing and making Hololive inspired and sampled bass music or just electronic music in general for these guys. I want to do that. Not just because I want to give them something, but also because that's just genuinely what I like doing. And I still think about it all the time, all the music I could be making. During the Hololive music tier list stream, while I'm listening to the songs, I'm thinking, hey, I could remix this. You know, in theory, I could remix this. And the only thing that's stopping me from doing that is the supposed change that I'm making. It's getting in the way of things, right? So I don't know what I want to do anymore. I was so confident, 3 months ago that this was a good thing, this change. I was like, nope, I'm ready to do it. This is what's happening. But it's been so long now that I don't know if that's what I want to do anymore. I think I want to continue clinging on to what I have. Maybe that's not the best way to say it. I don't really know the best way to say it, but that's certainly what I'm thinking about. And I'm thinking about all the different ways I could do it. Or maybe there's, some combination of both that I can do. Right? See if I can find a way to do both things at the same time. These don't have to be mutually exclusive paths, right? But the problem with that is if I am only doing one thing or focusing on one project, I can put all my effort towards it. If I'm doing 2 projects at once, my focus is split a little bit, and I might end up just doing a job that's only half as good for each project. That's what I'm a little worried about. But let's assume that doesn't happen, right? Let's assume that I absolutely adore doing both these things and they can live harmoniously together. So then what would that look like? That would be the next question. And also, what about this guy? That too, right? Because this is still 2021. There's no reason to kill this guy off yet. Maybe it'll happen in the future, but I don't know, not really there yet. It's worth noting, these are my longest supporters. The people that have been with me as Spiky Wikey, they've been with me for 7 years. And they'll still be with me if I wanted to continue nurturing this alias. It's not much. There's not a whole lot of support for this, but I don't want to just throw them away either. They're genuinely the longest and most passionate fans that I've ever had. So, that's 3 projects at once. Could make a more general alias? Okay, well then that's kind of, obviously that's whatever this is going to be is a more general alias or aliases. Because that's something, that's my own unique problem. See, in the world of electronic music, let's draw a pin in this. In the world of electronic music, there are many genres. And each genre has, I'm gonna actually switch to font for this if I'm gonna do as much letters as I'd like to do here. Make that much smaller. I don't know what this font is. Antonio, huh? ABZ. That'll work. Okay, there's lots of genres in the world of electronic music. I don't know if you knew this. Believe it or not, it's not all just one thing. To me, it's all just one thing, but I'm the weirdo that thinks that. Most people? Nah. For example, my roommate, he listens to deep dubstep, hip-hop, and post-rock, I guess you'd call it. That's what he listens to. That is a whole type of person. This is a person right here. There are many people that listen to this exact selection of genres. That is that is an audience right there. That is just one audience. There's another audience here that listens to electro, complextro, fidget, speed, house. This is a whole genre. They're attached to old school Skrillex still, and they'll listen to a lot of Wolfgang Gartner and Deadmau5 and stuff like that. They're not really into the big anthem-y melodies and vocals. They just like the funk and rhythm that house music has, and they like it in an aggressive nature. Beat house, bass house. That is a person. Then there's white girls. They listen to Big Room. They listen to future house. They listen to slap house. They listen to trap. That's an audience. That's an audience. Honestly, that's its own audience right there. Rhythm. That is an audience. These are all different audiences. I don't know if you noticed, but not a whole lot of crossover between these. It's not easy to please that many audiences at once. That's not really how the music world works. Even in electronic music, you might think, oh, EDM, you listen to EDM? That's cool. That's not a thing. People don't listen to EDM. They listen to a selection of genres that fall under that category. So when I make electronic music, even though, yeah, I'm a very diverse producer. I can make whatever I want to make. That's a talent that I've honed over many years, is listening, is training my ears, being a very critical listener, and then being able to reproduce, being able to recognize the fundamentals that make and define these different genres, and then being able to replicate those and reproduce those and be able to actually legitimately produce those genres rather than just making some fake imitation of those genres. That's what happens for most artists. There'll be a dubstep artist that's very good at what they do. Ooh, I don't know why I'm trying to write that fast. I just established that I've got text events. There's a dubstep artist. They're very good at what they do. They make 10 out of 10 music. Whoopsies, I forgot about that. I forgot that the sensor comes up when I press the minus key, which normally doesn't matter when I'm playing games. But while I'm typing, I guess that actually is a thing, isn't it? I'm gonna lock the sensor. Never mind, that doesn't do anything. Oh, that's what that would do. What else do I have? Can I change opacity? Image mask and blend. Color correction, maybe? There we go. Perfect. That took care of that problem. Alright, that's a dubstep producer. They make 10 out of 10 dubstep. They decide to make some bass house. Nah, we'll give them an 8 out of 10. It's like 8 out of 10 bass house. It's pretty good. They decide to make jungle music. Like a 3. Decide to make future house. It's like a 4. This is most artists when they try to branch out. Adjacent genres they'll do well in, but genres that genuinely share absolutely nothing with their parent genre, they can't do. They can't grasp the fundamentals. I don't know why I'm the exception to that. I genuinely don't, because from my perspective it's very easy, and I struggle to figure out why other artists can't do this. So unfortunately, I genuinely don't, I can't describe why this is, but I am apparently very good at capturing the essence of different genres and then accurately portraying and producing that genre, and people that listen to that genre will listen to what I've made unironically. That's what's special about what I do. So I want to find a way to really capitalize on that, right? So then that means that there's two options. I can either produce one alias that produces 10 different genres, or I can make 10 aliases that each produce one genre. Those are the two ways to go about that. I'm just putting 10. I don't actually know what the number would be, right? But those are the two ways to take advantage of this unique skill that I have. Now, Holo Bass. This was Holo Bass. Holo Bass was one alias, 10 genres. So whatever's next could be 10 aliases in one genre, or it could also just imitate what Holo Bass was, one alias in 10 genres. But again, the problem with this is not an audience. What audience is this? What audience listens to 10 different styles of electronic music. You don't see people like that. My audience, the Holo Bass audience, is. So when I say this, I'm like, who listens to this? Literally all of my fans are going to be like, well, I do. Well, yeah, because you're listening to Holo Bass. That's different. Most people, as in the people that I'm trying to reach with my music, don't listen to 10 genres. They listen to one genre. Maybe they listen to 2 genres. From a proper business perspective, this isn't a thing. Artists like this don't exist. And the very few that do exist they only exist because they're able to get away with it, because they're already so big, like Skrillex, right? Skrillex can get away with making whatever he wants because he already capitalized on a specific genre, right? A lot of people that don't listen to Skrillex will be like, he makes dubstep, right? No, he hasn't made dubstep in a long time. I mean, sometimes he does. It's not like he doesn't make dubstep, but he makes dubstep, he makes trap, he makes breaks under the Boys Noise alias. He makes bass house. He makes drum and bass. Granted, it's not very good, so I'm going to take that out. He makes complextro, or at least made complextro. People don't make complextro anymore. He makes whatever's new, really. He's pretty good at the imitation thing as well. He's not amazing at it, like I said. He's no good at making drum and bass, but that's just so very different from what he makes. But especially adjacent genres to dubstep and the world of bass music, he's pretty good at. So anyways, when I look at the future, what I'm going to do, this just seems like it makes the most sense to me. 10 aliases for one genre. But that's not the only option. These are 2 options. Now again, like I said, I like this. I really do unironically like this, and a lot of people obviously do, especially my own fans. That's kind of the thing that Holo Bass fans would have in common, is that they like Holo Bass. So I want to go back to this. But I don't consider that to be sensical. Also worth noting, Spiky Wikey was also that. Spiky Wikey is also 1 alias, 10 genres. That's worth noting. Okay. So I've already done this now twice. And I'm kind of ready to move on to whatever this is going to be at the bottom. So that was the initial plan. From the very beginning was to do this. That's the initial plan. And I've been expecting that I would do this for the past couple months now, or even longer than that. Even before everything went down with Holo Bass, I was still thinking about what's coming next. And this was what I decided on. But very recently, I came up with an alternative to this. Okay, this was option 1. That was option 1. I was so convinced that this is what this was going to look like. I was going to probably scrap this and move on to this instead. Man, my circle game is no good today. There you go. Okay, now here's option 2. This is something I've thought about for a few days at most. I don't know how long it's been exactly, but it hasn't been very long. This is option 2. Option 2. So Holo Bass and Spiky Wikey. I wish I just copied this. 1 alias. Forgot the 1. 1 alias. 10 genres. One alias. 10 genres. What if this? Let's consider this now. Like I said, it's hard to find an audience that the audience that Holo Bass had. That is a difficult audience to find. It's hard to find people that are genuinely into as many different genres as I'm into. It doesn't really happen very often, which is why it would be hard to start from fresh with this again. But here's an alternative, right? What if Holo Bass doesn't go anywhere? What if I go back to Holo Bass because I obviously want to anyways, and then also translate that audience to a secondary audience that's releasing non-Hololive music in the exact same way that Holo Bass is. It's literally the non-Hololive Holo Bass that people have been waiting for. That's also just one alias releasing 10 genres. And here's what this looks like. You ready? Here's the crazy thing. Here's what this looks like. Let's say I've thought about all of this in very great detail, by the way, to the point where I can tell you what the first release looks like under this new alias. I could tell you what the name is. I don't put question marks here because I don't know. I'm putting question marks here because I don't want you to know. I don't want anyone to know the aliases that I've come up with or what the names of future projects will be until I actually have the music to go along with it. I'm not saying anything until I actually have the music. Okay, but for the record, I know what this is going to look like. EP. Okay, first EP comes out. First EP consists of let's see. I actually come up with a name for this one. Oh, I did, didn't I? Lawbreakers, that's the one. Lawbreakers, that's one track. And Predator VIP, because I like that. Alternatively, that would be Usagi Bounce VIP, but I'm much more partial to Predator VIP at the moment. Bubba, and You Got Funk. That's an EP right there. This would be the first EP. This would be how this alias starts, would be with these 4 songs. But I don't know if you noticed something about this EP, that this could easily be a Holo Bass EP just as well. And this is the Holo Bass EP. A VIP of Predator, Bubba, You Got Funk. You guys already heard You Got Funk a little bit during the in the video I uploaded, assuming you saw it. It was members only, and I showcased 3 songs that I quickly threw together, concepts for songs rather, that I could have performed at Heatwave. So You Got Funk was from that, and then something called Lawbreakers. The thing is, all these 4 songs could also exist under this alias, just minus the Hololive, right? So there would be Hololive versions of each of these 4 songs that are like the actual proper versions. Those are the true versions of the songs, and they're released on Holo Bass. But these exact 4 songs are on stores and streaming services under a different name with the Hololive removed. And they're just easily enjoyable by your average EDM fan individually, right? And these would all be different genres as well. I'm talking dubstep, bass house, neurofunk, and glitch hop. Those are 4 different genres, distinctly. But it's not entirely unreasonable that one person could make all of those, because those are all adjacent genres. Like I was talking about earlier, there are genres that maybe a dubstep producer would naturally be relatively proficient in, since they already have the sound design and the mixing and stuff for it. It's just about the actual songwriting perspective. But then there are other genres that are so far removed from dubstep that none of their skill set translates whatsoever, right? They're 2 separate things. But these are all pretty adjacent, so these could actually all comfortably be one alias anyways. So this is something I considered now for the past week or so. A few days, however long it's been. So I like this idea a lot. Now, regardless of which idea I do, there's going to be a label that's founded as well. I don't know if you guys know about label culture, but label culture, independent label culture, is what carries electronic music. Electronic music does not perform that well on charts and stuff compared to other genres. People are out here listening to hip hop. They're listening to pop or country, or that's pretty much it, at least around these parts. That's what people listen to. You throw on the radio, that's what you get. getting electronic music to these people is very difficult. You've got the three main labels that are Universal, Sony. Who was the third one again? I care about these labels so little. I don't remember their names. These are the main three. These are the big three, is what they're called in the industry. The music industry refers to these labels as the big three. Universal, Sony, and whoever the third one is. You could just type in the big three on Google and you'd probably get them. You wouldn't even have to type in labels. I'm pretty sure the big three is such a well-known phrase. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'd have to add labels. But that's them. And then every song that you hear on the radio is licensed to these three labels. Independent labels don't even remotely compete, with the single exception of Disney. Disney is not owned by Universal, Sony, or whoever the third one was. They are independent. It's pretty ridiculous calling Disney an independent studio, but in this context, it's true. So Disney releases their music without releasing it through them. They're the only independent label in the world that stands a chance against them, right? Every other label in the world, all these electronic labels, if you're hearing an electronic song on the label, Slap House is what's big right now. So you're probably hearing Slap House. It's signed to Universal or Sony. I don't remember who the third one is, but they don't sign electronic music. That's why I don't remember their name. You might think, oh, well, what about Ultra or like Spinnin' Records? You know, they're pretty big. They're the ones that are releasing all the big stuff. Yeah, those labels aren't independent. They're owned by one of the big three. They've bought I believe it's Universal that owns Ultra. I'm almost positive Sony is who owns Spinnin'. Maybe I've got that backwards. Anyways, any like actual decently sized label is owned by one of them. But there are true independent electronic labels, hundreds of thousands of them, and they are the ones carrying electronic music, the culture of it, right? Not the commercial success of it, but the culture. New music is released independently all the time. I mean, I could even, just as an experiment, let's take a look. Since I'm talking about it, let's just have a look. Here's Beatport. This is the biggest online store in the world dedicated specifically to electronic music. Let's take a look at the Beatport top 10. What labels do we have? Might as well just open them all like this. Let's see who's really selling right now in electronic music. And I know I literally just said that sales don't necessarily translate to culture, but even looking at the sales, I guarantee you Deaky's not owned by anyone. Deaky's an independent techno label. They don't even have an aesthetic. Good gravy. Okay, there's Ultra. Literally just talked about how Ultra's owned by like UMG or something, which is why you release through Ultra if you want to make it to the radio. These are the type of songs you'll actually hear on the radio. Potentially. I'm not saying you will hear them on the radio, but potentially this is the kind of stuff you'll hear. Oh, you can't hear that. It sounds radio enough, right? That's the sound of Ultra, for the most part. Tinted. This is Proc House. I guarantee you it was Stupid Disco remix. David Penn's remix. That's probably what was actually... Yeah, there it is, right there up the top. I played this one already on stream and was like, yeah, I love it. Just good old-fashioned house and disco, not owned by anyone. Glasgow Underground, driving the house scene, not owned by anyone. Thrive, this is Biscuit's label. Got my stream blocked, but they're not owned by anyone. Catch and Release. This is Fisher's label, not owned by anyone. Catch and Release again. There's Ultra again. Repopulate Mars. I don't actually know who started this label, but I know it's not owned by anyone. It's individual. It might be... Oh, I don't want to say any names. I should know who owns Repopulate Mars. Which artist started this? I'm upset that I don't know this. I should definitely know this. Anyways, CR2, independent. They actually run their own sample service. Sample pack service. They make samples and sell them and work with artists directly to release sample packs themed around their sound within house and techno. Very cool. The point being, electronic music is not run by the big three like every other genre in the world is. So I'm going to make my own label because artists do this all the time. Label culture runs electronic music. I'm going to start my own label. Again, I'm not going to tell you the name of it, but there it is. This is happening. Like no matter what happens, regardless of which of these two paths I take or potentially a third path I haven't even considered yet, this is happening 100%. And within this label, I will release this EP, right? Just myself. This label will be how I actually get the music on Spotify. And oh geez, Beatport just changed their logo too. I don't remember what it is now, but it used to be this. It used to just be little headphones. This is where I'm trying to get my music. If it ends up anywhere else, that's a bonus, okay? If my music ends up anywhere but Spotify or Beatport, that's just a bonus. I wasn't even trying for that. Apple Music, Napster, I don't know. What other alternative services people use? Google Music, Tidal, iTunes, YouTube Music. There you go. So this is what this looks like. This is the alternative now that I've just thought of that I really am feeling at the moment. Holo Bass releases an EP on YouTube and only on YouTube. It won't even be on my Bandcamp or anything. Probably. I don't know. I might change my mind. Thing is, cover never came from my Bandcamp. That's still up in the air. Anything that cover didn't come for, I assume, is fair game. They literally only went for my Spotify. So as long as I keep the music off Spotify, I'm probably fine. I could even distribute it on Apple Music and Tidal and all that. Apparently Spotify or cover only cares about Spotify. And even then, they only care mostly about Spotify because for some reason that one thing's still up. And we'll talk about that too. But this is now what I'm looking at. Right? So this has all the Hololive removed. This has all the Hololive intact because Hololive is what inspired all four of these songs. It's not like I'm making this. It's not like I'm making this EP and then I'm like, all right, let's find a way to put Hololive into it, right? That's not it at all. It's actually the total opposite. Hololive is what is inspiring and motivating my music still. Even now, when I'm not even watching Hololive, I'm still sitting here thinking about the Hololive I did watch and what I could do with it. Right, which is why I've got these 4 EP ideas. Predator VIP already released that song, and I love taking concepts I've already explored and re-exploring them in a different way. I love doing that. I've done that so many times in the past, and I want to continue doing that. That's why VIPs and remixes are very, very cool to me. So Predator VIP, Lawbreakers. This is a Subaru song. One of the last things I saw before really leaving Hololive behind was Subaru was doing this police act where she was taking the role of an officer and criminalizing fellow Hololive members for their crimes. They were some of the funniest clips I've ever seen. She's so funny, man. I love Subaru sometimes. And that the concept alone inspired me to want to make something around that, because I just like the concept of like sirens and police reports and stuff contrasting with Subaru's just duck voice saying whatever she's saying, stuff like that. Bubba is something I've thought about ever since I did that Mario Odyssey compilation for Amelia years ago, however long it was. I mean, it was last year. I've had this idea for a song for a very long time, and I've never done it, so this would be the time to do it. And then again, You Got Funk, just all those Risu samples I really wanted to put together in a song at some point. And I already, technically I've already got kind of the framework for this down as well, so. And this is a VIP of a song I've already made, so this is an EP that actually wouldn't even take that long to put together. And then once it's done, I extract the Hololive vocals and replace them with other just generic EDM vocals or samples from rap songs. Like, it's still, mostly probably still be uncleared samples, but cover wouldn't be the one coming for me, so it wouldn't matter. That's another thing. Here, this is something, as a side tangent, I need to talk about this too. I'm very concerned. So there's still people that hold a hindrance with Holo Bass very heavily and strongly. I don't know to the degree that they hold it, but I went to my comment section. Not comments, what's it called? If you guys don't have YouTube, you don't actually know what I'm talking about. I might as well just show it. I'll just show you what I'm talking about. You don't actually have YouTube channels where you used to upload content. You wouldn't really know how this works, but here, this is what I'm talking about. There's a separate tab you can access in the studio where you can see comments. It's a much easier way to check out comments, right? It automatically applies the filter for comments that you haven't responded to, right? But you can filter comments with different parameters to make it easier to find things. On paper, this is actually really cool. Functionally, it's not that helpful because it still filters out comments for some reason. Like, there are comments I will get on videos that just don't show up here for some reason, and I'll never know why. So this is supposed to work really well. Arguably, it doesn't actually work that well. But anyways, I used this. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm burping so much. Again, I ate a whole bunch just before the stream. I have gone into YouTube and I've disabled notifications on my channel so that I'm not notified when people leave comments on my videos. Most YouTubers don't have to do that. Most YouTubers like to get the little notification when they get a comment so that they can respond to it or give it a like or whatever, or even just read it. But as Holo Bass, at a certain point you hit so many subscribers and you're getting so much channel interaction, it's like, I can't even read these comments anymore. There's too many. And beyond that, it wasn't just the amount of comments, it was the amount of comments requesting that my music be put on Spotify. It was so much. I just had to turn comments off last year for the channel. Notifications, I didn't turn comments off. I turned notifications for comments off so that I wouldn't be notified every time someone leaves a message, when is this going to be on Spotify? I got so sick of seeing it, I said, forget about it. I'm turning the stupid things off. So if I wanted to read comments, this is the way to do it. I could either go to the individual videos and go to their comment sections, or I can just go here where it's just collectively puts all the comments, and just, if I'm in the mood for it and I'm willing to sift through a bunch of people requesting my music be put on Spotify, I would go here, and then that's how I would see comments, right? But I haven't gone here in a long time because I haven't wanted to see comments because, well, I don't have any videos. But even on the one video I do have, again, the comments were just frustrating me and upsetting me sometimes, so I didn't want to see them anymore. Even though in that exact video, I believe I said something about, like, let's talk about it in the comments, because I was legitimately willing to do that. And for the first 24 hours, I did read every comment. But yeah, at a certain point, I couldn't do it anymore. Anyways, I figured maybe people are probably not commenting on the video anymore. And I wanted to see if I'd missed any comments on streams that I've been doing. Since I've been streaming for the past couple of months, I thought if I've missed any comments, I'd like to go and check out. Actually, Amara left a comment just yesterday. Saying that he hasn't been getting notified for my streams, which is awkward. So I told him, it's not just you. No one's getting notified of my streams, which is why there's only 2 people watching tonight, I guess. But anyways, I went to see if there were any other comments, and like immediately, like I didn't even have to try. Look at this. One day ago, I don't know who this guy is. I didn't even know who you were until now, but I feel so sorry for you, man. Everyone makes a mistake, but Hololive Corp didn't even try. Replying from KFP Guts. is it was pretty clear he couldn't make money using their property and he just did whatever. That's not their fault. Well, they should have taken down everything then, but they didn't, so it led to confusion that they ignored. KFP Guts replies, it didn't lead to confusion. He shouldn't have put his stuff on Spotify. It's not that deep. He effed up and that's it. They don't have to take everything down for him to get the message, and they don't have to reply to him either. So this is what I'm talking about. Like maybe this guy doesn't hate me, but like people aren't on my side. I don't think people want Holo Bass to come back. When I see comments like that, that's all I can think about, especially considering that's literally the most recent comment on the video. Here I'm thinking like, people have moved past Holo Bass at this point. Maybe I comfortably could go back to Holo Bass, right? Can I? I don't know. I feel like if I put anything on Holo Bass, whoever KFP Guts is and other people like him would come back and they wouldn't be happy to see me. I don't know how I could come back, you know? I've even had comments telling me, you shouldn't ever come back. You won't ever be able to. You've tarnished your name. You've permanently ruined Holo Bass. The Hololive community doesn't want you here anymore. That kind of thing. And that's just in my own comment section. That's just the people that are bold enough to say that in my own comment section. Never mind however many potentially hundreds or thousands of people on Reddit or 4chan or various Discord servers or whatever, or people just keep their opinions to themselves because they don't want to share them anywhere. But more people elsewhere that just weren't in my own comment section that also wouldn't want to see me back, right? So I see things like that and I question, can I even come back? Is there even a chance for recovery? Not because I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, 50,000 subscribers. I'm so sorry. I need you now more than ever. I'm sorry I messed up. I value the numbers so much. No, it's because I still have people telling me how much they love my music. I will get messages on Discord still. People being like, I'm sorry if you've been getting a lot of messages, but I just really wanted to tell you I love your stuff and I hope, you release music again. Please let me know whatever you do next. I want to keep supporting you. It's like I just have this constant tearing feeling emotionally of people telling me they love my stuff and people telling me they never want to hear me again. It's just been that like nonstop back and forth for months now, and it's just really, really been messing with me. So it's made all of this so much harder to think about, because I'm trying to think about who am I really making music for and why. Is there a way I can release music to the people that want to hear it and not to the people that don't want to hear it? It's been so tough, man. I put myself in such a difficult place. I can't even blame anyone but me. I was already in a difficult place legally, with what I'd been trying to go through with cover and stuff and how complex that whole situation was. It was already impossible to tell people what I was going through because people just didn't get it. They don't know how copyrights work and stuff. But beyond that, now I've put myself in a difficult place where I don't even know what to do next. That was all just a segue so I could talk about something down here, but now I don't even remember what I was going to say. I can't remember what I was going to say. Maybe I'll watch my own stream back. I think I could do that. If I just mute my desktop audio. Let me rewind my own stream. I'll be able to jog my memory. Let's see. Ah, that's what I was talking about with samples. Right. So as an extension of that, of people that might have some kind of vendetta against me or don't want to have anything to do with me again, I'm genuinely concerned that whatever I do next, whether it has anything to do with Hololive or not, I feel like I'm going to be under a microscope. I feel like a lot of people are going to be watching what I'm doing very intently. People with malintent. And there might be people that'll rag on me for using samples. Since that's what got me into trouble in the first place. A lot of people now associate Holo Bass with the guy that used samples that he shouldn't have. That is Holo Bass to a lot of people. And that might not bother the average producer, but I am a sample-based producer. I've been a sample-based producer for, I don't know, 8 years, 9 years, however long it's been. There's two kinds of producers. If you don't know how this works, I might as well start typing it out again. There's two ways to produce music: synthesis and sampling. These are the two ways to produce music. Synthesis is with synth generation and modulation. Sampling is with audio editing and manipulation. Those are two different kinds of music production. All music production falls either in one of these two categories or a mixture of both, most likely. Most producers have a mix of both synthesis and sampling. I mean, it's pretty hard to find producers that are out here recording or creating their own drums, for example. So even if it's just drums, most producers do a little bit of sampling. And even if it's just generating a sub bass, most producers do a little bit of synthesis. So almost all production is a mix of both synthesis and sampling. But I am a primarily sample-based producer, which means I'm not just talking about vocal samples. Every corner of my music is done via audio editing rather than synth generation. Because my synth design just isn't that good, and that's not what I like about music production, is sitting in the sound design process and trying to generate crazy sounds with FM synthesis. That's not my thing. What I like doing is taking clips of audio, either the recordings of synth generation that someone else has done, or audio that has nothing to do with synthesis or any kind of musical value whatsoever. Just a sample of someone screaming, for example, and manipulating that into something that works, right? This is the kind of audio production that I do, is sample-based production. And for the rest of my career, I'm going to be a sample-based producer. That's how I am. What I'm worried about is if Holo Bass is now known as the guy that got in trouble for sampling stuff, and people already know so little about music production, there might be people that now say sampling Holo Bass was sampling, so therefore is sampling, but sampling equals bad. Alias is also bad. Excuse me? What do you mean I'm muted? What does that even mean? How am I muted? How long was I muted? I mean, I can press the plus button on my keyboard and that would mute me. So maybe I did that by accident? How would I have hit the plus button? Equals is the same key as plus. That is an excellent observation, my friends. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that fascinating how that works? I can just go like this really fast and spam the equals button. That's so funny. I forgot that plus and equals is the same key. Okay, whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. I don't need to go over it again. You get it. What I was saying, though, is that in Predator, not VIP, in Predator, you guys know what Predator is. It's the Gura dubstep song I made. In the Gura dubstep song, I've also gone and sampled a rap song. There's a rap vocal that plays throughout the song. It goes like, I'm trying to move. I'm trying to move. And the pre-drop vocal is, I'm an apex predator. That's, I don't have the rights to that sample. I never cleared that. But that's sampling. Electronic music is all about sampling, regardless of whether you've cleared the samples or not. It's just about not getting caught. That's electronic music. No one has the rights to the samples they're using. Right? If they're sample-based producers, that is. A lot of the instrument samples are cleared because producers have gone to great lengths now to protect sampling, at least instrumentally, thanks to services like Splice and stuff, Splice is the biggest sample library in the world at this point. Maybe not the biggest sample library, but as far as, like, if you want to get legal samples at an affordable price, Splice is the place to go to. Electronic producers love Splice. I love Splice as a sample-based producer. All the music, all the samples on there are cleared. Theoretically. I've personally have come across samples on Splice that I know for a fact are not cleared, but I'm not going to say anything. And the guys that are using the sample aren't going to say anything, okay? Because that's how sampling is. The think break, for goodness sakes. No one has the right to sample the think break. If I go to Spotify quick, what were we listening to? Escape from NA? Yeah, I guess I don't have any identifiable breaks in there, so I'll exclude that one. But here we go. Literally the very next song. This is Bad Boy Sound, drum sound and bass line Smith. Absolute legends. They've been producing drum and bass for God knows how long. 20 years at least, I'm sure. They own Technique Recordings, one of the biggest drum and bass labels, and this is their latest single on Technique Recordings. Listen to the vocal in this. Let me skip ahead to the vocal. Classic. The sample's been used lots over the years in EDM. I believe Knife Party used this sample for the Lost Souls EP. Was it Ghost Train? Maybe? Oh no, this was a different sample. Never mind. I don't know what that one was. Another vocal sample that's edited to the point of distinguishability, so whoever does have the legal rights to that sample wouldn't even be able to identify it themselves. So you know they're in the good. Nobody knows what that vocal sample was. That was messed with so hard. That one's obviously in the clear, only because no one could identify who it belongs to anyways. That's certainly one way to sample things, especially when you're as big as Knife Party. This song's a banger, by the way. beautiful. Let me find some more examples just to really push the point home because I find this fascinating. Let me go to, I definitely have this in my favorites, do I not? Why would I not? Okay, well, here's a song that's got a sample that's not cleared.
Are you out yet? Yeah, I made it past the first airlock. Set off the EMP.
Set off the EMP. I don't know what it's from. Who knows? Hey, here's a song that's got some actually identifiable samples.
This is Snake. Quit playing around. What are you doing?
Do you think Midnight Tyrannosaurus got Capcom's permission to sample Metal Gear Solid for this? Probably not. That's not how sampling works, man. It's not about permission. It's about not getting caught. I'm just listening to the song for fun at this point. The song's just a banger. I don't feel like stopping it. Ah, Snake! It's good, man. It's good stuff. Midnight T's the king of sampling without permission. That's kind of his thing. He's got in trouble for it a couple times, sure. Good example would be Planet... was it Planet Purge? Yeah, it was Planet Purge. The song's got awkward bits of silence in it because the samples had to be taken out for the release. But it did have Rick and Morty samples originally. Cool sample. Silence. there were vocals there, but Adult Swim, or I don't know, Roiland, somebody obviously had a problem with it. So it happens. Guess what? That's what happens. They request the song gets taken down, you take the samples out, you put it back up. I could have done that as Holo Bass. The problem with that is my brand is Hololive. I can't just take the samples out and put it back up and expect anyone's going to care. I kind of make Hololive music. That's the point. When you take Hololive out, it's not the same. I don't even want to release it myself. The point isn't that I'm making instrumental music. The point is that I'm making Hololive music. So I wasn't going to take the samples out and put them back up. Here's High from Sizzy. Out on Malignant Volume 1. I think this is the biggest track on here. One of them. You think Sizzy got permission from Scott Cawthon to sample Five Nights at Freddy's in this? Actually, you could look at my Heatwave set at Hololive. There's a good example of a whole bunch of producers that definitely did not get permission to sample. I don't know, for example, Stallion. He didn't get permission from Sakurai to sample Smash Brothers. Probably not, at least. I've got a good feeling that he didn't. I could do this all day, man. You think DJ Mad Dog, we can get off the dubstep kick. You think DJ Mad Dog got got permission to sample oh, what is this movie called?
Jobs, will you please?
Why have I forgotten what it's called? Oh my gosh. You guys will be able to tell the name before I can.
Not even fucking close. Is that really the fastest you can play, you worthless Jaime fuck? You will stay here for as long as it takes until one of you faggots can play in time.
If you deliberately sabotage my band, I will fuck you like a pig.
Now, are you a rusher, or are you a dragger, or are you going to be on my fucking time?
I can't remember the name of the song. I don't know why I can't. You guys know it. So it's the movie, I mean. It's the movie with the drummer. Come on. Why on earth am I forgetting? I can't remember the name of the stupid guy talking. I have such a bad memory. He voiced John Johnson in Portal 2. He was in the latest superhero show that got so big and got the meme. What on earth is a stupid movie called? Whiplash. That's what it's called. Whiplash. With J.K. Simmons. This is J.K. Simmons currently screaming in our ear. Guess what? This song's got 1.5 million streams on Spotify. You think the guys behind Whiplash gave permission to DJ Mad Dog to make whatever this crap is? You think Snoop Dogg gave permission to Late Replies for Hold Up, which has 5 million streams on Spotify? Come on, man. Sampling is my culture. You think Neonix got permission from Cover to sample Hololive and Spacewalk? It's so beyond frustrating, man. So, anyways, I'm done raging about that. The point of that is sampling's kind of my thing. Not only am I a sample-based producer, but sample culture is integral to the music that I make. It's what I do. I want to continue sampling things that I don't have the permission to sample because that's kind of the whole point of sampling. Once you have permission, it's not fun anymore. Come on. Obviously, I'm joking, but... So I'm going to continue sampling things I'm not supposed to sample. I'm just going to avoid sampling Cover when I release this EP, if I release this EP under whatever alias this ends up being. But I don't want to get slammed for it. I don't want to have a bunch of guys that hate what I do and are analyzing everything I make with a microscope and are deciding that, hey, he doesn't have the right to that sample. And they make a big fuss about it to the point where the sample owner finds out, and I actually have to take the music down. It's sad when that happens. Like when that happened to Michael Beebe. Which isn't even on Spotify, so I can't play that for you, but here's the YouTube upload for it. This is an art track, I think. Oh, this is Tunes to Tube, apparently. This song got taken down from stores and streaming services because of the copyrighted material. It does happen sometimes, and it's very sad when it happens because this was one of the biggest house tracks of 2018. But it had to become one of the biggest house tracks for the sample owner to even find it. I gotta adjust my sidechain threshold again. Okay, let me skip to the actual sampled part. You recognize that song? Strange things are happening under the hanging tree. I don't know who owns that song. I don't know who the original artist was, but they ended up finding the song and they got it taken down. Same way Cover got my music taken down. It happens. Because, yeah, legally you're not supposed to do it. So what do? You take it down, and then ultimately, I guess, no harm done. Michael Beebe is one of the biggest, house producers. He's fine. But when that couldn't happen with Holo Bass because, again, my music is Hololive music. It's how it is. But beyond that, I literally already forgot what the second point was. What? How did I already forget what I was going to say? I was in the middle of saying it. How did I forget mid-sentence? Well, my thoughts are very disorganized. Again, I've spent a long time thinking about this, and even longer today, just thinking about it and trying to organize my thoughts and think about the potential path forward. I don't know how much else I wanted to talk about. I guess I just wanted to point out kind of what the future plans are, the two paths I can take. And then also just trying my best to not forget entirely about this. Because that's still a thing that I want to not entirely forget about, nurture a little bit at least. It would be hard to dispel such a long-standing misconception. I assume the misconception you're talking about is the concept of sampling. Rut Responsibly was nice. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? I put the instrumental on my YouTube channel and left the vocal version for the album because I didn't want my parents to hear the vocal version. Simple as that. My parents like keeping up with what I do online, but I don't trust that they would find that. I don't know. They're also members to my YouTube channel. They could be watching this very live stream for all I know. Mom and Dad, if you're watching, for the record, I don't actually want to have sex with horses. It was a joke. It was the point of the song was to make fun of weird and unusually sexual techno vocals. That was the point. It's like a parody. It's a joke song. I don't want to have sex with animals. That was the point of the song. It was a joke. It was making fun of that. Anyways. Anyways. So yeah, I just, for the record, a lot of people might, and anytime I ask someone, what do you think I should do? What's the future for Holo Bass? What do you want Holo Bass to do? What do you think would be a good idea? They always think they have the answer because they don't understand just how complex it is and all the things that I've considered. And so I'm always able to counter whatever their suggestion is. Yeah, but what about this? And then suddenly they don't know either. No one seems to know. I don't know. Nobody else knows. I've put myself in that difficult of a situation where there's ultimately no correct path forward. No matter what I do, no matter who I do it as, it's going to have some kind of downside to it. Even if I was to start a new alias and not even tie it to Holo Bass at all, say absolutely nothing, start from absolute scratch, don't say a thing. I don't even tell you guys, Like, I'm saying I make a new alias and I completely abandon all the people in Holo Bass that wanted to know what I was doing next. Just don't tell them because I don't want to risk the few bad apples following me over there, right? Even if I did that, the downsides are exactly that I've let down so many people without them even knowing about it. And B, I'm just literally starting from scratch. I can't even be like, yeah, I've got some credibility to my name. I was able to generate a whole bunch of subscribers on a previous project. I'm able to produce good music and people like what I make. I've already established myself successfully once. I can do it again. That looks good when I'm pitching to labels, right? So I wouldn't be able to do that either. So no matter what I do, I'm losing somewhere. So I've just desperately been trying to figure out how I could lose the least, right? I guess beyond that, if I wanted to stretch this down even further and give myself more space to work, draw another one of those in. Okay. Something's happening pretty soon. It really snuck up on me, at least. Maybe it snuck up on you guys. Holo 1 year anniversary. Kind of a big deal. Hololive likes to make a big fuss out of things like this. Holidays, events, etc. They like to celebrate, release merchandise, do something different, and especially the Hololive EN girls, I'm sure, are very excited about a year, whatever that means. I'm sure there'll be some merchandise campaign that's going to cost hundreds of dollars or whatever. But beyond that, I'm sure it's just going to be a celebration as a whole. I'm sure the community is going to be putting all sorts of fun stuff together. I'm sure the Reddit will be celebrating, 4chan will be celebrating. Like it'll be something that's just so objectively fun and good that no matter who you are or where you celebrate Hololive, and for whatever reasons, this is something worth getting excited about in your own unique way, right? So naturally, I want to contribute to that as well, and especially because this coincidentally is also the Holo Bass 1 year anniversary. These are the same thing. By sheer coincidence, I started my channel literally a week before Holo EN went live. So that's 1 year anniversary for two things now. Like, I have to make something as Holo Bass, regardless of... Whoops, I didn't mean to put that there, but okay. Let's maybe not do that. I forgot when you scroll while you're holding a box, it just does that. Regardless of whether we go with number 1 or number 2 here, or a third option I haven't even thought of, this has to happen. I have to release something as Holo Bass for this. How could I not? I already know what I want to do as well. I haven't started on it, but hopefully I give myself enough time to start, finish, edit, and release it. But then what? Here's what I'm thinking is then what? What happens after that? Do I just go back to nothing? Is that it? Holo Bass comes back for 1 day and then he's gone again? I double tapped it so that I'd unmute myself immediately. Okay, then what? I already know what I'm doing. Well, actually, then maybe I should change this. So then what? What am I supposed to do with whatever comes of this? Because I've been AFK for 3 months now. It's been, well, almost 3 months. It will have been 3 months, honestly. This will have been 3 months of inactivity on my channel. I'll probably be down comfortably to 50,000 subscribers. I started at 53 point something. I'll be down to 50K as of this. No matter what I make, I could put up a 5-second video of me spreading my butt cheeks to the camera. It doesn't matter what I put up. The next thing I put up on my channel is going to be big. People are going to see it, right? There's probably people that think I'm never going to put anything on the channel ever again, but there's also people that are waiting because they know that whatever the next thing I put up on my channel is, it's going to be letting them know what's coming next, right? There's probably people that are secretly hoping Holo Bass makes a return, even though I said I wasn't going to, you know? I don't know, whatever everyone's expectations are, I know for a fact that whatever the next video I put up is, it's going to get views. People are going to see it, and it'll be my opportunity to start something, right? And I want the next thing I make to be this. This is going to be the next thing on my channel. And it's going to be in a few weeks. So I have to put my thoughts in order in the next few weeks here and decide what I'm going to do when I'm finally live and the momentum has finally returned to my channel. What do I want to tell people? This will be my one opportunity to say something. What's it going to be? There could be an apology. There could be an explanation. These aren't all one thing. These are different things. There could be an apology, an explanation. There could be the Holo Bass return. There could be the start of a new project. Start live streaming. publicly. Start mixing again. Direct people to Spiky Wikey. I don't think this should all be one thing. I don't think I should do any more than like 2 of these things. Holo Bass return, that's definitely my alias. That's definitely the household name we know and love. Give me another one of those, please. That looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. There you go. What do I do? I feel sorry. There are a few things I want to apologize for. Look, I don't want to apologize for sampling Hololive. That's not what I want to apologize for. I'm not apologizing to Cover for anything. I've got nothing to say to them. But there are a couple things I want to apologize for. I legitimately do. This isn't just because I want to. This isn't me being a coward and bowing down to the mob or anything. This is me genuinely sorry about. Well, there's one thing I'm genuinely sorry about, and that's the tweets that I made. I should have never made those. That's terrible. I want to apologize for those tweets, not because of what I said, but because I said anything at all. It wasn't the appropriate place to do so. I want to apologize about, abusing everyone's trust in me in that regard. I want to apologize for wiping everything because I didn't realize just how much I meant to so many people, There are a lot of people that really cared about me. And they were really upset to see me go, and I genuinely wasn't expecting that when I wiped everything. I had become very disenfranchised with the presence that I had online. I didn't realize just the amount of influence that Holo Bass truly had on people until I was gone, And I want to apologize for even putting my music up on Spotify in the first place. That was a mistake. Although that's not me apologizing to Cover or to anyone specifically. It's more just me acknowledging a mistake. It's maybe not so much as an apology, but more as a, look, this shouldn't have even happened. I might have had my own justifications and reasoning for doing this, but ultimately it didn't matter. There was an alternative to Spotify, and I actively ignored that. And then I ended up, the consequences came to bite me in the back for that mistake, right? So that's genuinely something I want to do. I want to apologize. Explanation. I knew that was going to happen. I knew at some point I was going to end up missing the dragging portion of the box. Come here. What happened to Holo Bass? Just kind of rehashing everything that went down because so many people don't seem to know, So many people don't seem to understand what actually happened to me. But does it matter at this point? Who cares? The people that didn't know or didn't care aren't going to care now. They still hate my guts and they're not going to watch the video, or if they do, they'll find ways to misinterpret what I'm saying, and then there'll still be these rumors going around, So ultimately, I'd just be rehashing what people already know, I think. There are a lot of people that don't know, like KFP Guts. They don't know what happened to me. They thought I was just in it for the money or whatever, the narrative is. But does it matter? This message isn't going to reach them. As many people as my next video will reach, if I put up another 1.5 hour long video of me just rambling, it's not going to go to the right people. They're not going to care. They're not going to sit there and listen to it. It's not going to fix anything. And it might just come off as pathetic. Really? I was gone for 3 months and the first thing I do when I come back is, look, it wasn't my fault. I did this, I did that. I just don't think that's got the right tone. I don't think I should do that because even though I really do want to, it bothers me when people don't know what's going on. Not just with me, but just in general, just seeing people believe something that isn't true. It's upsetting, Seeing people believe in lies or misinformation or whatever it may be, Holo Bass return. People are going to assume that I'm returning. If I just upload a song and don't say anything, right? And that is the plan, by the way. This next song, I'm not giving any context. Look, I just want to put the song up. People will get it. It's the year anniversary. I don't need to put some lengthy description or lengthy comment or something. That's not the appropriate place for this, right? This would be a follow-up video, whatever I'm talking about here, right? Holo Bass return. Is it happening? Because people certainly are going to think it is. If I just release a new Hololive song, they're going to think Holo Bass is back. Is Holo Bass actually back? And how so? How is Holo Bass back? Actually, that leads me to another tangent I want to talk about. Because it might seem silly, but we drop the Spotify logo back in here. Obviously, this logo was done and made so well that I had to copy it instead of just redrawing it. Holo Bass isn't gone from Spotify. It's just, Pop on Rocks is, and Pepperoni is, and Usagi Bounce is, but Holo Bass isn't gone from Spotify. In fact, Lo-Fi Hip Hop for Eldritch Chords to Draw To is still on Spotify. And has has over 200,000 streams. I don't know why that didn't just mute me. I just hit the plus button and somehow I didn't mute. I thought I would mute. Maybe I was muted before. I don't know. But anyways, Lo-Fi Hip Hop for Elder Chores to Draw To has over 200,000 streams on Spotify. And it's still growing because it's sitting in random lo-fi playlists that people put on when they're gaming and stuff. And so that's still generating me revenue. So in the eyes of Spotify, I'm a lo-fi producer. And if I was to produce more lo-fi as Holo Bass, and I put it on Spotify as Holo Bass, it would also get added to those same playlists. And I'd also get lots of streams. And I'd be able to continue building on the brand that Holo Bass is now a lo-fi producer. That's not to say that I'd be a lo-fi producer actually. On YouTube, I wouldn't be just putting up a bunch of lo-fi. I don't even listen to lo-fi myself. I don't really have any a level of passion for the genre to be a lo-fi producer. But as far as Spotify knows, I'm a lo-fi producer. And to really poke fun at the situation, as far as Cover is concerned, I'm allowed to be a lo-fi producer. Cover doesn't have a problem with me being a lo-fi producer. They just had a problem with me making Hololive dubstep and Hololive techno and Hololive hip hop. But actually, Cover doesn't seem to have a problem with me being a Hololive lo-fi producer that samples Hololive and puts pictures of Ina's tentacles in the cover art. So maybe I could do it again. Maybe I could make a whole album. Maybe I could put a whole lo-fi album, a whole Hololive lo-fi album on Spotify, as long as it didn't have any cover art that they could get me for, right? Maybe I could get away with that. And maybe it'd be me poking fun at the situation in a way that everyone could laugh at. Or, alternatively, maybe that's something, if I followed through with, it would appear that it's in bad taste. It would seem like I'm being a poor sport and I'm testing my patience with Cover again. I genuinely don't know. That's how messed up my perception is of my own situation that I've been put in. This combination of back and forth where I'm seeing support and disdain for Holo Bass left and right. And I can't personally distinguish what people would think if I was to do anything. So I genuinely don't know what would happen if there was a Holo Bass lo-fi album. I don't know what would happen. I don't know what the reception would be to that. To me, that's funny. To me, that's just a joke. The music wouldn't be a joke. The music would be proper lo-fi. I'd put in the work. But to me, that's just funny. I'm just making fun of the whole situation. The fact that Cover, the whole thing would be put up under the pretense of Cover is okay with me being a lo-fi producer, so I'm going to own it and I'm going to play into it. And that's now who I am on Spotify, but only Spotify. I probably wouldn't even put the music on my YouTube channel. I still want to keep making the same music I've always made, right? So if Holo Bass was going to come back, that's something I'd want to do. But for the record, I genuinely have no idea how that would be received. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you think would happen if I was to do that? Do you think people would get the joke? Like, or would that seem like I'm trying to circumvent or trying to like go unnoticed? I don't know. I feel like there's 100 different ways that could be received, and I want it to be received correctly. And if it can't be received correctly, if it's received incorrectly, it might do more damage ultimately. Also, if I was to come back, should I just take down the song that's already on Spotify as a show of good faith? That's something I could do as well. I could just elect to remove the one release I do still have on there, just as a sense of acknowledgement, right? How would I make sure everyone hears your explanation that it's a joke? Well, I would assume that just seeing the album drop on Spotify and only Spotify would be obvious enough. I personally would think that that's the joke in itself, but I guess it's because I just understand humor in general a little bit better than most people. That kind of humor, and I get the context behind everything that happened. So to me, it's funny. I don't need to say anything. But I guess I probably would somehow need to explain it to people if I was going to do that, which makes it not funny, because once you explain a joke, it's not funny anymore. And it's funny because, or not, it's funny, it's weird because even though I say it's a joke, in a way it's also not a joke, because I'm still taking the music seriously and it's still legitimately going to be generating me revenue. So it's not actually a very funny joke either. I know that's weird. I just thought it was funny, the whole concept of like, you know, Cover thinks I'm a lo-fi producer, so I guess I can do that now. So maybe that won't happen then, but that doesn't change the fact that, for the record, this is still on Spotify. It's still generating me revenue every month. So what do I do about that? Should I take that down? Is that going to be weird that, like, I don't even have that song on my YouTube channel, and yet Holo Bass is back, but Holo Bass's Spotify is still just this empty shell that has this one random release that's still on there for some reason? Should I just take it down? Just wipe my whole Spotify account? Just delete the thing entirely as a show of good faith and be like, look, I'm not intending on putting any of my Hololive music on Spotify anymore. I don't know. Start a new project. Is this the time to announce this? You know, for this 1 year anniversary. Actually, I should probably leave this down there and then just put text right here and say follow-up video, because that's what this is, what I'm talking about. This is after whatever I do. There's going to have to be a follow-up video that tells people what's up. That's not going to be an hour long. So in that video, do I announce whatever my next project is? Am I actually ready for that yet? I'm not sure. Certainly if I take this path, then I guess I've got no choice. The point is that these two aliases exist in unison. Holo Bass and whatever's happening. I'm just going to take Spiky Wikey out of here because it's just causing confusion for me personally. So these two aliases would exist alongside each other. So obviously this would have to be announced. That's the point. But I could just also go back to Holo Bass. Look, here's another alternative as well. If I was to really go like this and zoom out and give myself... Ugh, I did not realize how long this was going to end up being. Woof, you know what I mean? Let me drag that down. I'm glad I had the idea of putting this all down in MS Paint. It's a lot easier to just look at everything and see what I've been talking about instead of trying to remember myself what I'm talking about. Okay, alternative. I've thought a lot about this as well. Look. Holo Bass. goes back to what it was originally. I don't know if you guys knew this. I don't know if you watched my Holo Bass, what happened to Holo Bass video. Holo Bass used to be known as Shinobi Bass before Hololive. It was a channel where I uploaded regular DJ mixes. Leave the lo-fi up so it stands as a record of events? I guess so, but I think it might also cause confusion because I'm trying to move past everything, but at the same time I'm still kind of hanging on to this one release for some reason. And if I have a Spotify account, you know, people that don't know about any of this, that are only just finding me, because people are still getting into Hololive brand new every day. Holo Bass is going to be reaching a new audience all the time. People are going to be like, whenever Holo Bass comes back, if I start putting music up again, I guarantee you, my comments are going to go back to, is this going to be on Spotify? When's this coming to Spotify? I'm going to get that all the time in my comment section now. Going forward, not even as a joke, people legitimately asking, well, you know, like when I drop these songs on the channel, if this was to happen, each comment section is going to have somebody down there. Can be on Spotify? I'm not responding to those people. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of telling people what happened to Spotify and why I can't put my music on Spotify. I did this already. I've done this several times. I dedicated an entire 25-minute video just to talking about why I can't put my music on Spotify, but I was going to do it anyways. Anyways, so here's an alternative. And with this alternative, I'd still release music. Actually, this is worded poorly. I should just take this out. I'm not actually going to revert the channel back to Shinobi Bass. Okay, listen, Shinobi Bass, for the record, was what Holo Bass was before Holo Bass. It was a place for me to upload DJ sets to YouTube because I used to run a YouTube channel called Sick Day. Did I ever really show you guys Sick Day? I guess now's as good a time as ever to show you what Sick Day was. Ugh, I don't even have the channel on here. Are you kidding me? Has it been that long? Oh my gosh. Has it really been that long? Still got the old password too. That's crazy. Wow, it's been that long, huh? Sorry, I'm just enamored by my own YouTube channel for a second here. It's been so long, man. Look at all these videos that no one's ever going to see ever again. That's so sad. I dumped years of my life into this. Literally years of my life into this channel. This was before Holo Bass was Shinobi Bass. But before Shinobi Bass was Sick Day. This was my channel as a DJ. For many years, I uploaded mixes to the channel. For example, this. Just unmuted. Can you hear this? Yeah, you're good. I would just upload mixes, man. Simple as that. And they got like no views. And I'd put a lot of work into them. I don't even remember this one. I don't remember any of these mixes. It's been so long. It's mental how long it's been. I uploaded daily mixes for a while. I uploaded... Look at this. I had a Patreon at some point. I had 0 patrons, despite me putting this at the beginning of every video. I could never get this channel to take off no matter what I tried. I tried so hard to figure out what I'm supposed to do with Sick Day. I tried so hard. Look at this. At a point, I was uploading mixes every single day. An hour-long mix of Psytrance. The next day, an hour-long mix of, I don't know, Big Room or something. This was my life for so long, man. Look at this. I've been having trouble with copyrights for so long, and YouTube, it's insane. I think I've even talked about how I ended up leaving sick day because of how hard YouTube had been messing with it. Look at this. Track list is not timestamped because YouTube's algorithm shadow bans timestamps on my channel. I am not kidding you. That is how bad they were messing with my channel at a certain point. I couldn't even timestamp the songs in my mixes and say, like, you know, at 2 minutes this song starts, at 4 minutes this song starts. That is how hard they were messing with my channel at a certain point. This is like one of the only videos on my channel that's still public, which was a mashup I made for Luna, who was, because I was into VTubers back in 2018. So I took Luna's latest single, Dirty Party, and mashed it up with a song from Gammer and Dougal. And got this. Look at this, I've been making VTuber content way longer than Holo Bass, in a weird way. Apparently this song got kind of big on TikTok in Japan as well, so there's a bunch of Japanese guys in the comments being like, found this on TikTok or whatever. Look at this, look at all these blocked videos. This is what I'm talking about. YouTube messed with me so bad, they just started blocking videos. Even though they were public and were generating views and likes and stuff. At a certain point, YouTube is just like, nah, you're not allowed to have those anymore because we're playing with the content ID and we're using your channel as a guinea pig as we implement new features and detection systems. There's so much content here that I've poured so many hours into over the course of so many years. I played with different aesthetics as well for the daily uploads. A lot of times I would be working on a mix and I realized, it's not good enough for the channel. But then I'd upload it anyways. So I just cut it short and upload some stupid picture like this to go with it. Like sometimes I just wasn't even taking my own channel seriously. Oh, this was actually one of the good ones too. This one was sick. I had a custom video and stuff for it. This is like when I actually cared about my channel. I would put out stuff like this. Right, I had to cut that song out of the mix because of YouTube copyrights. I've been fighting copyrights for so many years of my life, man. The fact that people think I don't know how they work is crazy to me. I know how these stupid things work better than anyone else on this website. Some days that's what I think. Just an hour mix of dubstep, because I like it. Tutorials, scrapped mixes. This one was cool. Took one of my favorite labels, Disciple, and then just started stringing drops together as like a speed mix practice, I guess. It's not that good, but I was also working with the restraint of it being a catalog mix where I was working with their oldest song and kind of making their way to the newest song, just kind of slowly increasing in time. Did April Fool's mixes, label focused mixes, mashups. What else is in here? More. I'm just laughing at the picture for this one. Oh, I've been into VTubers too long, man. This is sick. This was back when I was watching seasonal anime, and I was using currently airing shows as visuals for my sets. That one was cool. Apparently that actually got a halfway decent amount of views. For once. Oh geez, this one's really old. Look at this one. This is from like 2014. This is kind of crazy how old this one is. Soul Eater's 2008, I think. So this wasn't a currently airing show. I just like Soul Eater, so I just used it for visuals. I think I tried using this twice for visuals. Didn't I also try something else with that too? Oh yeah, I did a half step set for Halloween. And I just had this looping visual I made of the Witch Blair's house. That was sick. I spent a long time experimenting with visuals for my channel over the years. The anime ending sucked. Yeah, Soul Eater started falling apart for the 4th season, I think. I never read the manga. I read the first, I guess what would be 2 seasons of the show in manga format, but I never actually read the entire show's worth of story in the manga, so I don't actually know if the show deviated too much from the manga at all. Maybe it was pretty faithful, but yeah. Soul Eater starts so strong, and then just kind of very slowly over the show, I started caring less and less about it. Yeah, the final season, there's some good stuff, but I don't know. Ultimately, it was a little bit... wasn't my favorite. Oh, the anime ran ahead of the manga, so they had to make it up. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard of things like that happening. I didn't know that happened with Soul Eater, though. All the more reason to go and actually finish the manga at some point, I guess. Because I really, really do like Soul Eater. You know, when I like it, I really like it. Look at this, man. My life has been nothing but anime and dubstep for years. That has never changed. That's been remarkably consistent across all my content for a very long time. Senran Kagura. Oh, here we go. This was the other time I tried using Soul Eater for visuals. Oh, this is before YouTube implemented their compression as well. So this is super loud. So I actually got to drop the volume. This was cool, but I didn't get very far until I realized it was weird having 2 brands that have nothing to do with each other, having such a strong focus alongside each other. So I scrapped it. I still did the mix, I just didn't use the Soul Eater visuals. I just repurposed the concept of using Soul Eater visuals in a later mix. Yeah, I didn't make it very far before realizing, that's actually kind of weird and cringy. Oh yeah, I was doing mixes every week at a certain point. Mixed a Spotify playlist. Oh yeah, Oddball. This was cool. This was like a series of trap mixes I did back in 2015. This song's so cool. I don't know. I wasn't a great DJ in 2015, but whatever. I was still out here trying my best. That was sick day. That's what I was doing for years. And the point is, I want to go back to doing that. Why? How could I not want to go back to doing that? I've already put so many years into doing that. Why would I? How could I just kind of leave that behind when I still listen to music as often as I do? And work with it, and I'm inspired by it, and I'm now making my own music. Like, I'm still a DJ at heart, so I'm gonna be, you know, I'm inspired to continue doing that. So I want to go back to doing that with Holo Bass, which is what I, you know, was doing originally with the channel. That's how the channel started, was me just having another attempt at me finding some sort of consistent aesthetic or motivation or way to tie all of my mixes together on one channel, but I couldn't do it on sick day because YouTube had messed with the channel so bad. So bad. Honestly, you guys don't even know about the shadow banning that was happening on my channel. It was so bad. And funny enough, we're experiencing it again. I say to my supposedly 0 viewers watching the stream, YouTube's just sitting here messing with my YouTube channels again, and I don't know what I keep doing that they don't like. It sucks, man. It must have something to do with music and content ID, I guess. I can't believe I've actually spent 2 hours just talking about this, and I still don't even feel... I still haven't come to a solution. I still haven't organized my thoughts. I'm still sitting here just questioning, debating all the different paths ahead of me. Trying to figure out if there's some path I haven't even realized or that I've forgotten about entirely. But anyways, this is an alternative. Go back to what it was originally. New mix. Every Saturday, maybe. It'd be like a specific day of a week. Alongside new music when I feel like it, really. Just as I'm inspired to release new Holo Bass music, I will release new Holo Bass music. But even then, this can be a mix of two concepts where new music doesn't necessarily mean Holo Bass music. Maybe Holo Bass will go back to exclusively being a channel for me to DJ on. And then under a new project, I'm releasing new music that has nothing to do with Hololive, right? Or maybe what this means is this will be a combination of this and the second thing, where I'm releasing where I am a DJ primarily, but as I'm in the mood to write new music, I will, and it'll be a simultaneous release where there's a Hololive version on my channel and the non-Hololive version on stores and streaming services. So even this can be a combination of multiple different paths. And none of this, by the way, none of this takes the streams into consideration. What's happening with the streams? I don't know. That's not even something that's taken into consideration in any of these options. What am I doing with the streams? Are these going to just continue as members only content? Or do I want to go public with these? I like streaming. I want to be streaming publicly to an audience that can actually grow on the streams themselves. I want my content, regardless of what it is, to be able to circulate and attract a new audience that would want to actually see that content, right? So, but I'm not going to be streaming alongside any of these options. Well, I should say 2 and 3, right? Streaming can live pretty harmoniously here, where another alias means another channel entirely, or multiple aliases, and the Holo Bass channel would go back to being a streaming channel, right? I'll put that up here. Holo Bass is now a streamer under a new name, same channel. Right? And even then, VTuber? Basecam? Twitch? Maybe? Would that be better? Like, that's got its own things that need to be asked. Our own questions to consider. But, you know, assuming we don't go this way, because, you know, I like these options as well. Yeah, what would happen? I guess they'd just stay members only, right? It just seems kind of lame. Just keep doing what I've been doing when, you know, the momentum has no choice but to just continuously go down and down and down because there's no room for growth. My streams can only grow as my other projects grow. That's the only way when they're members only like that. People will be channel members to support whatever the project is, and then the streams are a bonus, right? So I can only grow as a streamer if I'm growing under the complementary project, whether that's Holo Bass or something else. I guess it just would be Holo Bass, right? So yeah. Was there anything else I was thinking about or wanted to consider? I guess just Spiky Wikey, my other alias. I've just got to figure out how much focus I really want to keep putting into that. Literally yesterday I was like, hey, I've got an idea for a song I want to make, and it would be on that alias. So that's just me putting time into a project that's literally just a hobby. Nothing can ever come from Spiky Wikey. The potential for growth is so small. The potential for growth was already so small, but it just continues shrinking more and more. It's astonishing that even with the success of Holo Bass and me releasing 300 nuts per minute and saying as much in the description, look, this is my other alias, go subscribe if you want. Even with that, Spiky Wikey did not get more than 200 or 300 subs or something in the midst of what might have been 40,000 subscribers or something. Like, Spiky Wikey's not going to grow anymore. It's basically just locked. Like, I'll probably never hit 2,000 subs to Spiky Wikey. So if I ever am putting effort into Spiky Wikey, it's purely as a hobby. Nothing's ever going to come from it. I can't make money. I can't get big on Spotify or anything. I can't drop my music on stores because it's all My Little Pony stuff. So I just, like, it's just nothing. It's just a passion project whenever I'm inspired to continue nurturing this audience that I probably should have already moved past, but they themselves don't want to move on. They themselves are still attached to My Little Pony fan content. Even though I myself have moved past that, there's still an audience there, and I want to continue producing content for them. Now, to be honest, there actually have been a fair amount of them that have also fallen in love with Hololive and were a big fan of the Holo Bass project. So that's cool, but certainly not all of them. Certainly not even most of them. So that's something I'm thinking about. You know, here I've been making music for the past couple of weeks for that alias, but why? You know, what's the point? Is it just a waste of time or what? If I'm going to be wasting my time making music I can't really be putting on streaming services or stores anyways, then why isn't it Hololive music? Why aren't I nurturing the audience, the new audience that's actually sitting here waiting for something? There's 50,000 people, right? And, you know, even beyond this, what happens when I get a job? I want a job. I legitimately want a job. I'm not here looking for a job. In fact, right now I'm actually looking at community social services that specifically work with adults with autism and getting them employed or helping them get employed, right? I'm looking for job opportunities with them right now to see if they can help me out, because I haven't been able to find a job by myself because of, I don't know, whatever reason. So that's the thing. When I do get a job, that's going to take time away from literally everything, no matter what it is. So what happens to streams? Do I even keep streaming? It might be too much. I work however long I work. I come home, I stream however long I stream, and then I've got no time or energy left to do anything else, potentially. I won't know until it happens, but could happen. And if I've got to choose between music and streaming, I wish I could choose streaming, but realistically I can't. I've got to choose music. I'd like to do all three. Honestly, I wish I was making enough money from either my music or streams that I wouldn't even need to go to work. But obviously that's never going to happen. As long as A, I'm streaming to members only, and B, I'm releasing music that I can't legally profit off of anyways. Obviously I need a job at a certain point. It's getting pretty bad, so, you know, that is something that's going to take high priority. Once I have it, that's suddenly going to be number one, and everything else is secondary as I continue building a financial net for myself. I think that's it. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. I can't think of anything else right now. Yeah. And, you know, I'm not even asking for advice or anything. I think there's only two of you here anyways, so it's not like there's really much of a point. You know, as much as I like you guys, you're not necessarily even a sample size or representative of anything. So I'm not going to make any decisions based on the advice of two people. So, you know, I'm not asking for advice. I'm just sitting here streaming this because this is what's on my mind. I can't really get my mind off of this, so I couldn't really do a regular stream until I stop thinking about this again. Either because I've come to a conclusion or because I just choose to forget about it again. I just choose to keep putting all of this off even longer and go back to streaming every day as if I don't have to be considering the future steps that I take with my content. It's been nice ignoring that, but I can't just keep ignoring it. I need to settle on something at some point. But every time I think about it, I just come back to this. It's too many it's too many paths, it's too many options, and I genuinely don't know how any of them would be received because I can't even gauge my own audience anymore. I don't know what the general perception of me is online anymore. I don't even know if I could go back to watching Hololive anymore. I hope I can. Like I said, I legitimately want to go check out the new girls that have all started streaming, and I think are even streaming literally right now while I'm streaming. Been enjoying the new girls. That's good. That's good. I noticed actually in the thumbnail for one of them, I don't know her name, I can tell just from her eyes that her artist is the one that did Luna and Pinky Pop, like Kaguya Luna, not the Hololive Luna, whatever her other name is. I can't remember, Himamori or something. Not her. I mean Kaguya Luna, who I just played earlier, and Pinky Pop, her I guess sister, because they share the same mama. She's definitely the artist for one of the new EN girls. And I know just by the eyes. It's the rat girl with the red hair. So that's pretty cool. Because I like her stuff a lot, for sure. Audio editing? Come on, man. There you go. Audio editing and manipulation. Follow-up video. Yeah, this is, and all of this, the biggest thing to consider out of everything is this. There's now a time constraint. I don't get to just sit here and mull over it as long as I want to anymore. I now have a time constraint. I believe September, it's either 12th or 13th is the date. So I need to figure something out by then. Otherwise, what a waste, right? While I've got everyone's attention, I just let it dissipate again. What a waste that would be. I need to, while I have everyone's attention with a new song, with the quote-unquote return of Holo Bass, I need to have an answer as to what comes next. What combination I've settled on. What I think is going to have the least amount of backlash and damage to the community. No matter what happens, there's going to be arguments in the comment section. There's going to be people that don't understand why I came back. There's going to be people that won't have ever wanted me to come back in the first place. There'll be people that'll be, from a genuinely good place will be saying, you shouldn't have come back. This was a mistake, You've already moved on. You should have committed. But I haven't moved on, not mentally. I'm still stuck on Holo Bass and Hololive as a whole. I can't move on. I don't know how I'm supposed to move on. Oh man, and the problem with mixing is that costs money too, because it costs money to buy music, and I can't rip from Spotify anymore. So that's a thing. I probably won't be mixing anytime soon then, as much as I love DJing. I don't know if I can really afford to do that right now. Can one move on with Cornet supporting their wrist? I know. How could you ever let go? I don't want to move this hand ever again. I want to glue my hand to this mouse pad. I never want to leave her. Now that I have her, how can I let her go? Right now, immediately, the only thing that's inspiring me and motivating, the only two things I want to do consistently now are, well, A, I want to keep playing Honey Pop in my off time, trying to work on getting those achievements. I got one yesterday. I got the one for completing a date with, while also exhausting the girls 8 times in one date. I got that one. And I got the one for having a threesome on the first night. So, you know, I'm playing Honey Pop. That's certainly fun to go back to that and really push myself to try my best and strategize and get these achievements. That's the one thing I'm doing. And the other thing I'm really inspired to do right now is release something on Spiky Wikey. I've got 2 different projects that I'm trying to work on at the same time. I mean, one that I've been working on for a week or so, and one that I literally just wanted to start working on last night, and I'm going to start working on after the stream. But again, I know that's ultimately a waste of time when I've only got, like I've pointed out, 3 weeks to figure out what's happening with Holo Bass, to set things up and figure out what's going on there. So ultimately, I'm just distracting myself, but it is out of genuine, like, inspiration and creativity, so it's not the worst thing. Well, I've got nothing else to say. I'm not going to go switch to a game. Like, that was the stream, was that. Another thing I considered was doing a random, like, public live stream and discussing all of what we talked about tonight, but publicly. Figure out with the community itself what's next, instead of just trying to do this myself. But I'm hesitant to do that because I'm 99% sure the answer overwhelmingly is just going to amount to, it doesn't matter what you do, we just want more music. We just want you to be happy, Holo Bass. Do whatever you want. We'll support you. That's not what I want to hear. I'm sick of getting people's support. It's sickening. It doesn't mean anything. People have supported me my whole life, and look where that's got me. I'm still sitting here, jobless, and confused and lost. I'm not looking for support. I'm looking for actual help and advice. But I can't rely on others for that. I need to just do this myself. Actually, I mentioned earlier while talking with a friend that I feel like a lot of the reason I was so willing to let go of Holo Bass in the first place and wipe everything was because I'd already gotten so used to the support, you know, all the comments and the positivity, that I failed to realize just how much there was, I guess. I didn't realize the scope of my influence and how much I'd affected people positively. At a certain point, I felt like just no one really cared. I was just getting like the same types of comments and the same commenters and the same amount of the same exact kind of support over and over, and it wasn't really growing anymore. And I felt like no one was behind me in my attempts to contact cover, and nobody understood what was happening. And so at a certain point I felt like no one even cares about me anyways. It's super easy to just say goodbye to Holo Bass. So it was really hard seeing all the support and all the positive comments, because it was like, man, I really messed up. I really let a lot of people down. I forgot, you know, just how many people are out there. I should save this graphic I made so I can continue looking at it when I want to like reassess what's happening. I gotta keep that saved. But whatever happens, I'm streaming Final Fantasy tomorrow because I want to keep playing that game. So look forward to that at least. Again, I did want to play it tonight. I just couldn't focus on it. But another day of excessive thought, and then I'm gonna end that with making just a bunch more music, and then I guess tomorrow we'll just go back to playing games. So. Oops, that's playing double. Of course it is. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tell your friends, since YouTube won't tell them. I actually have to rely on word of mouth for members only content, even within my own members, because YouTube won't tell people when I'm going live. See ya.